We have your full tier list for the WCQ for July 2022, and this is actually kind of interesting to see how things are playing out right now. I'm betting 30% of you guys have not smashed the other crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up the 100K ladder here. Alright, tier list time. ABC. I'm actually, so tier 2 is technically Rogue, but we're going to include the lower part here also as Rogue. But honestly, ABC Therion, I'm going to put in, it's like 1.75. I'm going to put it here in tier 2 because even though the deck can do stuff, it's not that amazing. Oh boy, agents. I'm going to get a lot of crap for this. But this deck has just massively fallen off. I don't even think it's truly like tier 2 at the moment. And that's really saying something. I know you can duel your way out of a paper bag with it. I know you've won your locals with it. That's great and fantastic. I know you can beat so many metagame players with it at your 10-man local. That's fine. Alright, but it hasn't done anything super competitively outside of one top, and that's not a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. B-Troopers, same thing. It can do stuff locally, but the problem is it doesn't do enough, alright? Unfortunately, I gotta put it down here because it's just Rogue at the end of the day. Despia is going in 1.5. Despia has continued a long descent here into madness, and it continues to fall off the face of the planet here. I really wish that I could give this deck a lot more credit and be nicer to it, but it's really just fallen from the face of glory. And it's because there's a lot more counters to the meta right now for this. I mean, D-Barrier, Anti-Spell Fragrance, players just generally knowing how to play around things now, that it's lost a lot of its appeal. And it's kind of sad now. Now, according to a lot of predictions from a lot of the pro players that I've been reading, Dragon Link Adventure or the Punk Pack, whatever you want to include with this deck, is supposed to be a tier 1 option right now. Now that we've seen Despia kind of fall off, a lot of players, like I said, are starting to predict this. I'm going to put this up here for a little while for a discussion point here, just to kind of see where the rest of this goes. But strictly based on what I'm hearing right now through anticipation and things like this, a lot of people are predicting this to be very high on the tier 1 list for this event, which is very interesting. Punk Eldritch. I'm going to put this in 1.5 as well. I believe this would be representing the punk-based package as well. So this would be the Eldritch variant of this. Honestly, I think this variant's a little bit less powerful than Despia, which I'm going to put it down here. So yeah, for intents and purposes, this should be representing the Punk Eldritch Synchro deck. But yeah, this deck is definitely a very good tier 1 pick. Based. 100% based. Honestly, I think that this deck is a monster. The craziness that this deck can put on the opponent, the pressure, it's amazing. And its deck is by far, I think its ceiling is the highest of anything right now in the current format. There's not a lot of things that will come close to this in terms of being able to touch it. And I think that's a very important thing when you're looking at like the development of the format is, even though it doesn't have a high representation, the players that do get into Top Cut with this are crazy powerful. Salamangreat. I'm going to put Salad in tier 2. I think that this deck is by far probably your current definition of the threshold. Don't get me wrong, Salad can top. Oh, absolutely it can. I think that if you don't think Salad is a good deck right now, you're actually crazy. DDDs I'm also going to put down here in tier 2. Unfortunately, this deck, even though I always mention like it takes a good player to pilot this particular build, it takes a decent amount of skill. And why dedicate all that time and skill to learning something like this when you can just play something way easier out there, all right? Like, I understand that. Dragon Link, I already said my piece about this version of the deck. We're going to leave this here next to it to represent both builds. Drytron, I'm also going to put here, honestly, Drytron and Despy are about in the same place right now. I really do think that this deck is very, very good. It really took UK by surprise, and honestly, it might actually be one of the sleeper decks. I know I didn't include this in the top 5 video, but this is going a long way by a lot of players. Eldritch, I guess I'm going to put it in 1.5 because you also have the branded variant of this that a lot of players just look at and they're like, oh my god, like this is so good. Like it really is. Earth Machine, I'm also going to put in Rogue. I understand that it's done some stuff, but it hasn't done enough to really catch my attention here. I'm also going to put the fish control box in here as well. I'm actually going to put it right here. I think the fish control box is really, really solid right now. Like, this deck is really good. Flounder, this is the deck that people are scared of. This deck is really making people very anxious, and it's really there. Altergeist, I'm going to put this in the back half of Rogue. I almost want to put this in LOL. It doesn't do what it needs to do, man. Like, oh boy. You know, Heroes, I hate to say this, but I gotta put you in LOL. You're not doing anything right now. Like, at least adding Nister is performing. I'm gonna put this here because Bosch is going second list for this deck is just insane. Like, this build is nuts. Invoked, I'm gonna put in tier 2. There's always that one guy that will do something crazy with this. Actually, I'm going to bump it down here. I think the deck is truly, like, fallen off the face of the planet here. Libromancer, I understand that Libromancer has... It's functioned, it's done things, it's had some success and some tops, but it hasn't repeated those particular tops. And that's the thing that, like, worries me about it. I understand that, like, it functions and it can do stuff that's great, but it hasn't had that repeating effect that you like to see. Evil Twins, definitely going to put this right here next to Libromancer. I think that the deck is good once again. It's got a couple of tops, but it's not better than adding Nister, in my opinion. Candy Treats, I guess I'm going to put this in Rogue here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit nicer. I'm going to bump these two up, because these do have tops. Poor Invoked. I think Invoked had one top this format, but it's not that great. I guess I got to put Marincess up here. If players don't know how to handle this deck, it's pretty alright, honestly. Like, you can get a lot of things done with this. Like, just setting up boards, catching players off guard. Yeah, you do your job. Mech Knights, I guess it's still Rogue. It hasn't done anything. I'm also going to put Orcus down here in LOL. Unfortunately, this deck, it just doesn't perform. I'm also going to put Pendulum down here as well. Like, it doesn't do anything. Phantom Knights. Get back there with Evil Twins. You guys remember how much this deck has fallen from glory. The Sun Avalon deck. I think I'm going to put this in tier 2. I really do think with all my heart that the Sun Avalon Therion deck is crazy. Like, this deck, when it gets off the ground, it's interesting. Rogue, I'm going to put Plunder Patrol. This deck has a good couple of tops. Maybe it should be up here. Yeah, we'll put it up here for now. The Predaplant Despia deck. I'm going to put it up here sitting next to its brother. Honestly, I think it goes back here. I do think this variant is good, but it's not crazy. Hello Punk Therion. You can go back here at the end of 1. This deck does stuff. I mean, it does things. It's definitely not tier 2, that's for sure, but it's floating back here. Tri-Brigade. Tri-Brigade, is it... I guess we're going to put it in here. It can do things. It can combo up really well. It can do a lot of big boards, but that's it. Add Emancipator, I'm going to put you in LOL. You don't function and do anything anymore. Solid. Well, technically, we have one for the Code Talker variant and one for this. Okay, that's fine. Sky Striker always, forever will be in 1.5 in my opinion, or 1.75. The thing with this deck is it's got a lot of good stuff going for it. Mystic Mind's going to be a problem as per usual, and a lot of players are going to be caught off guard by this. Sword Soul, here's the thing. I still think that this deck is very powerful. I think it's leagues ahead of a lot of the other stuff up here. I actually, I'm going to be bold. I really want to put this up here because I want to, from what I'm hearing from people's testing, that they keep talking about this deck, it was just amazing. Try Lyricalisk. I mean, yeah, it is. We'll put it next to its counterpart here for sure. VW is also going to go in Rogue. Unfortunately, how the mighty have fallen. Subterror did in fact have a top. Hey man, you open up the good card, you win the game, fundamentally. BA, I think I saw did one thing this format. I hate to do it to it, but we're gonna put it down there. Same thing with our friends at the the Department of Good Stuff, and then I'm gonna put Dynamorphia in tier 2. This deck can still do things. I think it's a lot better than people really give it credit for. But as you can see here, just like a generalized setup for what's coming for the event here, there's a lot of interesting picks. There's a lot of stuff that you can mess around with in this format. A lot of stuff that you can find success with. And I think that's the most important thing when you're going forward here, planning on playing for this month, is Rogue in the tier 2 category can be successful, but it's not always going to have that turnover here. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.